completely agree with that. What I don't agree with is that Jews should be able to live there by dispossessing the people that live there now, and by coming in with military guards that, you know, maintain their dogmas there. And as far as Arabs being able to live in Jerusalem, I mean, anybody that pays attention to what's going on in East Jerusalem now and has been for the past few years, as I mentioned before, the absentee property law is being used to excess, to say the least, in Jerusalem to dispossess Palestinians, throw them out in the street, and literally move Jews into their homes before they're even torn down. As far as the thrust of my opponent's point at the beginning, I'd like to address that. He harped on the word racial in the UN's definition, and his argument was basically that Jews aren't a race, so this can't apply to them. I mean, that's so ridiculously cynical that I can't. It's difficult for me to comprehend how someone could seriously have that as an argument. I'm not going to get into an argument about what makes a Jew, since Jews have been having that argument for hundreds, thousands of years. But the spirit of that UN law is not limited to race, as we think of it here in the States, white and black. The spirit of the law is one group, self-identifying group, dominating another or other self-identifying groups through a regime of crimes against humanity and using them to maintain that regime, which is exactly what Israel is doing. My opponent intimated that basically Arab states are worse. Maybe. I mean, maybe there's a lot of horrible things going on in Arab states, but the point is that that has nothing to do with whether or not Israel is an apartheid state, and the crimes of autocratic and authoritarian regimes in the Arab world do not justify the crimes of Israel. The contention that Israelis could teach others about integration and equality and all these different races get along so well in Israel. I mean, it's not just Palestinians or Arabs that Israel is discriminated against. In November of 2010, the government approved a plan whereby work camps would be set up for people that had migrated to Israel illegally. They would go there involuntarily, be fed and sheltered, and then bussed out for labor and then bussed back while their citizenship was being while I was going through the motions in the government. I mean, as far as I understand where I come from, that's slavery. And this is not Arabs, this is black Africans. So, I mean, the idea that all the races just get along in Israel is absurd. As far as it being a free and open democracy, Palestinians who have citizenship in Israel definitely do have the right to vote in the Knesset. There's no doubt about that. They sure do. However, they make up 20% of the population there, and Israel keeps it that way. And they're excluded from government. So they have they have seats in Israel's parliament, but they're always categorically excluded from the coalition that makes up the government. There's cabinet positions and so on and so forth. So I mean, yeah, they can vote, but it doesn't mean that they really have political representation. Freedom of speech. That's good. The recently passed Nakba law in the Knesset. This law made it so that what Palestinians in 1947 and 1948, Israel began ethnic cleansing operations in Palestine, kicked out anywhere from 600,000 to 850,000 Palestinians. The Palestinians called this the Nakba, the catastrophe. Now, Palestinians commemorate this so that they don't remember this horrible event that made the refugees. And Israel has just outlawed celebrating the Nakba. So if you make a celebration on Nakba Day, you go to jail. I mean, that's nowhere near what we experience as free speech in the United States for one. So I don't know how we can call that. Thanks.
My opponent said that he believes that Jews have a right to live in Hebron and some parts of the West Bank.